Good afternoon. I guess Blue already showed her lack of respect for the show. No, she huffs every night now when I start the show. So, anyway, I hope everybody besides Blue is doing well. And man, a lot of noise in the news today. There's a whole lot of noise regarding, of course, Russia, Ukraine, and all that stuff going on. Tons of headlines involving that, um, and a few headlines involving mainly the truck convoy in Canada. I haven't really heard anything new to speak of in the U.S. convoy. So as of so far, nothing new with that. Lot of like I say, a lot of the news was about Russia, and I didn't even put any of those tabs up. I didn't even pull any of those tabs up because, to be honest, there's so many of them, and it's just a bunch of back and forth kind of stuff. I did work a little bit on that little like logo thing. You can probably see it in the one screen. I'll show you. I added the 2022 as like a little air thing on it, and so anyway, I don't know. It looks better than what it did. So anyway, I'm probably going to cut some of those out and put them up on Etsy. So anybody's interested in them, when I do them, I'll make a video and I'll put an Etsy link in the video. And I forget. I think it's like 2.6 inches high and 8.5 inches wide is what I've got it figured up to be. So anyway, probably be doing that here soon. So figured I'd show you that and make you aware. So let's see. Trying to think. I've got no updates from myself. I know Pat King's live right now. I see he appears. I hadn't heard what he said because he just went live as we were going live. But he looks good, so he looks he doesn't look concerned, so that's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, other than that, just the typical nonsense that Trudeau's trying to pull and whatnot with the convoy up in Canada. I do have those links up. I'm going to talk about that. Oops. I'm going to talk about that for a little bit, and I'm going to just get into headlines and be done with it. Make it kind of an easy night. Why not close up the week, be done, and have a fresh start Sunday. So anyway, let's go ahead and hop on over. And going to start out, I'm just doing these in the order that they came out. Canada blacklists Freedom Convoy crypto wallets. And I think I mentioned something about this yesterday. They did an actual article on it. It says the authorities in Canada have told cryptocurrency exchanges to cease transactions with addresses they said were linked to the ongoing Freedom Convoy by the anti-vaccine mandate truckers. The order from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police began circulating on social media early on Wednesday, with the local media saying that its authenticity has been confirmed. Several major Canadian crypto exchanges also acknowledged receiving the relevant guidance and the list from law enforcement. A total of 34 electronic wallets have been blacklisted, including 29 Bitcoin addresses and several addresses in other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Litecoin, and others. The order reportedly stated that any information about a transaction or proposed transaction in respect to these addresses is to be disclosed immediately to the Commissioner of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. The backers of the convoy have already donated 21 Bitcoin worth around $1 million to the cause. So, we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. Have a sip of coffee. I don't know. I don't know how easy it is going to be for them to block crypto. I mean, they may be able to do it. Who knows? I would think, though, it would be pretty easy to launder money that way. Let's see. Canada threatens to freeze pro-Trump bank accounts. This is insane. I mean, it goes even further, right? Canada's Justice Minister David Lametti has told supporters of Donald Trump who donated to the ongoing Freedom Convoy trucker protests that they should be worried about having their bank accounts frozen. Lametti said his government is considering extending emergency powers brought in to break up the demonstrations. In a CTV interview on Wednesday, Lametti was asked, "A lot of folks say, look, I just don't like your vaccine mandates and I donated to this. Now it's illegal. Should I be worried that the bank can freeze my account? What's your answer to that?" The Justice Minister responded, "Well, I think if you are a member of a pro-Trump movement who's donating hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars to this kind of thing, then you ought to be worried." Lametti did not clarify whether he was speaking about accounts belonging to Americans or Canadians, or whether he was talking about only targeting large donors or small donors whose contributions have added up to millions. Asked whether a Canadian citizen who donated $500 to it should be worried, Lametti dodged the question and threatened to suspend the trucking licenses of haulage companies whose vehicles have been used in the protest. I mean, it's just insane what they have to resort to. And still haven't even sat down at the table once. Not even once. That's when you know you're dealing with tyrants. And then, if that didn't go down, go far enough, Freedom Convoy protesters threatened with losing their pets. Yes, that's the next threat. Canadians taking part in the demonstrations against COVID-19 mandates were threatened with inadvertently relinquishing their pets if arrested by the police, authorities warned on Thursday. According to an announcement on the Ottawa by Law Twitter account, anyone arrested at demonstrations as part of enforcement actions by the government could have their animals placed in protective care for a week if they were unable to look after them. The suspect must pay for the animal's care. After 8 days, if arrangements have not been made, the animal would be considered relinquished. A tweet from Ottawa's regulatory service included a photo of a dog hanging out of a truck window. So, I mean, they're threatening with everything they absolutely can to get these people to leave. But the threats almost look silly. I mean, it's almost like they're grabbing at straws. And I think they absolutely are, because these guys are doing it right. They're holding a peaceful protest. And they're doing a damn successful job of it. And I think that's a major threat to the powers that be. So they're going to do everything they can to scare as many of them away as they possibly can. But I really do think that they've got Trudeau and the Canadian government up against a wall. This article here says Ottawa cops crack down on protesters. It's not as bad as what the headline makes it sound. Police have started to erect fencing around the Freedom Convoy protest in downtown Ottawa, Canada, and have brought in extra officers to push in to clear the demonstration. That's what I was talking about, the Biden wall. They're putting a fence, just kind of like they did at the White House. They're putting a fence around buildings there. So, But it says the move comes after the truckers were threatened with arrest under emergency powers enacted by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. However, they're not voted in yet. Video footage captured on Thursday showed busloads of police arriving in downtown Ottawa and officers purportedly holding crowd control drills. Meanwhile, workers were seen putting up metal fencing near the demonstration, which has brought traffic in the center of the Canadian capital to a standstill for nearly 3 weeks now. It says shortly after these videos surfaced, Ottawa police announced that residents are seeing a major increase in the number of police officers on their streets. The force also stated the barriers and fencing are going up around the core of downtown Ottawa, cutting the protest off from the rest of the city. Only those who live and work within this area will be allowed to pass the barriers. How do you like that? Any unlawful protesters must leave the area and will not be provided access, Ottawa police stated on Twitter. So, sounds like they're going to build a big, huge freedom cage and then arrest everybody inside the cage at some point. I mean, that's kind of almost what it sounds like. And I have to call it that because the same thing happened on a much smaller scale in New York City on the steps of Freedom Hall. And that was the only place when Occupy Wall Street had willed down to little of nothing. That is what they did. And I think that's what they called it, the Freedom Cage. And it was those barriers. And they just, I guess, zip-tied the barriers together. And on the steps of Freedom Hall in New York City. And that's where the protesters were allowed to protest. And there were so many rules that dictated what they could take in there with them. And this, that, and the other thing. What they could do. It was absolutely insane, and I'm sitting there going, why aren't people in droves down there saying, oh, hell no? Your First Amendment right doesn't, say that you have to listen to all their little edicts as far as how you participate your First Amendment. It's ridiculous, but nonetheless, we'll see. We'll see. But there were some arrests made. One of them looked I saw one of them happen live, and it looked real highly suspect. And honestly, it looked set up. So, now get this. Yesterday, I believe it was, I covered a headline that talked about how in Israel there was a truck convoy that was going. And now look at this. Israel scrapping COVID vaccine green pass. I wonder why. Wonder why. So anyway, I would expect in most places around the world you're going to see this stuff wrapping up. Because I think the people's going to put pressure to wrap it up. I'm not saying that we're going to be out of harm's way when it comes to an overreaching government. I just think they're going to take another angle. That's all. Hang on. Oh, goodness. Have me a few vapes here. There are quite a few headlines to go through. I see there's another one popped up there. Let me see what it's about. I don't put out all of them. If they're sports related, entertainment related, the only way sports entertainment, if it makes it, to me tweeting it out, is if it's somehow actually related to news, Sometimes it is, and usually it's not. Oh, let's see. Vaping strawberry milk. That's what I figured I'd make. Something a little different. It's good though. All right. Let's do some headlines. All of them from today. Japan sees preemptive airstrikes as self-defense. Z wants an army of lawyers. U.S. deploys F-35 fighter jets to Germany. A presidential candidate halts campaign after staffers die inside election bus. You might want to look into that. Pelosi names last century's greatest political achievement. Covered that. Britain reveals stance on Ukrainian refugees. Russia warns U.S. tech giants. Spies announce new Russian invasion time frame. I told you there was a lot of Russia ones in here. And it's just nuts back and forth. Saudi women apply... Saudi women apply en masse to be train drivers. Choo choo. Czech president blasts CIA. City to COVID test its entire population, says reports. That would be Hong Kong. Man, I don't know why that got me. Alright, Iran says nuclear deal closer than ever. Floods kill dozens in Imperial City. U.S. accuses China of harming global trade. Ukraine and Donbass accuse each other of heavy shelling. UK to end golden visa scheme, says reports. Shortening natural immunity status after COVID infection deemed illegal. Okay. Nazi salute shakes up EU Parliament. Ukrainians should have been asked whether they wanted to join NATO, says Zelensky. I'm sure you would say that. Australia starts vaccine injury payouts. Billionaire explains why people hate the super rich. A billionaire explains it. I mean, how dare maybe we explain it? It's got to be poor-splained for us. Let's see. Woman spent COVID-19 relief loan on murder, says media. France to withdraw its forces after 10-year op. Ship carrying thousands of Porsches catches fire at sea. That kind of sucks. Facebook reveals anti-disinfo tool for presidential election. Western media destroyed their reputation with fake Ukraine news, says Moscow. Britney Spears invited to Congress. You know, that's entertainment, but it's not really news, but I shared it out anyway because it's just how stupid this administration is. So, Buffett U-turns on rat poison and pours in $1 billion. Talking about, I think Bitcoin is what it is. Russia must be destroyed, says the Ukraine envoy. Oh, that's nice. Ukraine successfully blocking Nord Stream 2, Kiev claims. Belarus ready to deploy super nuclear weapons against West, says Lukashenko. Not just nuclear weapons, but super nuclear weapons. Yeah. Canada threatens to freeze pro-Trump bank account. Oh, I covered that. Sorry. Russia expels deputy U.S. ambassador, says media. Powerful storms batter Germany. EU country unable to contain bird flu epidemic. Western media worse than banned Russian reporting, says top Ukrainian politician. U.S. claims Russia increasing troop numbers near Ukrainian border, says the media. Every indication that Russia will invade Ukraine, says Biden. I'm telling you. China beating U.S. in 5G race, says experts. London mayor accuses Scotland Yard of amplifying disinformation. Dutch military used extreme, widespread violence in Indonesia, says a report. Moscow responds after U.S. cherry-picked from Russia's security proposals. New York mayor makes frank confession about vaccine mandate for NBA stars. UK rolls out new political impartiality guidance for schools. Amazon and Visa settle dispute. Facebook moderators call working conditions mental torture. Sitting in a room with Zuckerberg would be mental torture. Police officers charged for grossly offensive messages. Biden administration sues over gun law. Twitter down for thousands of users. Kremlin hits back at Biden's invasion claim. Apple boss faces backlash over huge compensation package as employees jump to their death out the windows. Claims of Russian invasion of Ukraine weren't based on hard intel, says ex-MI6 chief. No, you're kidding me. Not like somebody just made it up. Tesla faces another investigation. 7,000 more Russian troops deployed to the Ukraine border, says Washington. Telling you, they're pouring it on thick. A father sentenced in college admissions scandal ordered to pay $200,000. Russia tells NATO to calm down over Ukraine. UK claims Donbass clash pretext for invasion. U.S. warns of global fallout. Ukraine mulls legalizing guns. Covered that. Father of exiled Navalny ally is jailed. Moscow responds to U.S. intelligence, that's in quotes, on Russian invasion. Jewish MP demands apology from Canada's Prime Minister. Good luck with that. Protest here to stay. Canadian radio host axed for pro-trucker comments, tells RT. U.S. denies making failed Ukraine invasion prediction. Oh no, they didn't get it wrong. No. They were just trying to fake you out. Right? They really know. And one of these times they'll actually say the right date. But until then, psych. Let's see. Russia likely to invade Ukraine after February 20th, says media. Ottawa cops crack down on protesters. Students sue school over book banning. Poll reveals what Britons think of Johnson as a PM. Well, I'm pretty sure they think he's a Johnson. Elon Musk hounded for Hitler meme. Trump family ordered to testify in business probe. U.S. makes Ukraine chemical false flag claim. UK intel unveils axis of Putin's invasion. Amazon removes Black Lives Matter from charity program. And I covered that. That's it. That is headlines. So, I am going to call it that and get the heck out of here and enjoy my weekend. So, I hope you do the same. God willing, we'll be back Sunday night. I hope to see you then. As always, pardon me, as always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.